Have you ever been playing COD and started to go on a death streak? You continue to die time and time again and can't seem to correct it. Today we're going to show you some tips and tricks you can use not only to break that vicious cycle, but to get more kills than before. Hey everyone, and welcome to Call of Duty ProGuides, where we discuss all things COD and keep you in the loop with updates, changes, and more. My name's Scatter, and today we're going to show you how to get more kills in Call of Duty Mobile. Before we jump into all the details, have you ever wanted to improve or take your gameplay to the next level, but you don't know where to begin? At ProGuides, we have coaches that can help teach and show you how to improve, so use the link in the description or head over to ProGuides.com to elevate your game. Jumping into tip number 1, we have slow down. There are countless times that players have got caught up in the game. This can be due to the game mode that is being played or just the game itself. The action, focus, and intensity that goes into a match can lead to exciting moments and similarly disappointing ones. For example, if you're playing Hardpoint, it can become incredibly easy to get tunnel vision. You get so focused on the score of the match and want to dive into the hill to get 1 or 2 points just to help out your team. While this can benefit your team in the end, 9 out of 10 times you're actually hurting your team and also yourself. This playstyle can easily become a habit without even thinking about it, but if you want to get more kills, you'll have to slow down. The same can be said about a domination game. As you know, there are 3 flags in the domination game mode: A, B, and C. Many times the teams will be neck and neck, with the difference in score only being a couple points. If you've played domination, you know that the B flag is usually a hotspot on the map, with enemies and teammates either flooding the flag trying to capture it or throwing all their lethal and tactical equipment just to keep people off of it. As most players do, you enjoy all the action and continue to run head first, trying to slay out and make a play, but this won't help you get kills and usually will keep you from getting a lot more of them. Another thing to notice is that this doesn't apply just to game modes with an objective. Even in game modes like Team Deathmatch, the excitement of getting another kill and winning can be overwhelming and cause players to lose focus on how to play and get more kills. This isn't to say you shouldn't play aggressive, but make sure you're not always an aggressive player. A good player knows when to push and when to hold things, which brings us into our next point: camping. However, before we move on, comment down below what your answer is to the question of the day. What device do you play COD Mobile on? Personally, I've always played COD Mobile on my phone because it's the easiest and most convenient option, but I'm interested to see what you guys play on. Tip number 2 is don't camp. While you shouldn't always be aggressive, like we talked about in tip number 1, on the opposite side of things, you shouldn't play too slow because it does have its downsides. Camping can be a fun strategy and definitely help you rack up some kills, but this playstyle has always been frowned upon in the Call of Duty community, but personally, I think it can be helpful. If you're a complete beginner, camping can help you get a sense of confidence and begin to play more aggressive, but what we're talking about today is how to get more kills. Like we mentioned, camping can help you get kills, but the severe downside to it is predictability. Be sure to not underestimate your opponents, because if you continue to kill them from the same spot, they'll eventually get smart enough to take you out. If you sit in the same spot, it makes it easier for your opponents to predict where you'll be. In Call of Duty, a great thing to keep in mind is that you want to keep your opponents from anticipating your position on the map. If you continually take out enemies from an unforeseen angle, you'll be sure to go on an insane kill streak. So in conclusion, don't sit in one spot and always be on the move. If not, your opponents will hunt you down. Tip number 3 is to aim down sights. At first glance, you may think this aim down sights tip is useless, but it does go deeper than that. While aiming down sights can help you with accuracy, especially at range, the idea we had in mind is to pre-aim. Pre-aiming is one of the most useful things you can do to gain more kills. This tip also ties into tip number 5 as well, so make sure you don't skip over it. If you don't know what pre-aiming is, don't stress out because it's simple. All you have to do is aim down your sights at an area you can predict an opponent will be. Doing so makes sure you have an advantage over your opponent. If you don't miss, you shouldn't lose a gunfight to someone if you're pre-aiming and they aren't. The idea is that you're one step ahead of your opponent. While they're in the middle of trying to stop sprinting and pull up their gun, that's your time to take them out. Pre-aiming is meant to catch other players off guard and punish those who have a chaotic playstyle. Just like we talked about in tip number 1, pre-aiming is a great strategy to pick off the opponents that are too aggressive. Pre-aiming doesn't mean you have to ADS all the time, but should be done strategically. However, we'll dive more into those details in tip number 5. Next, watch your ammo and upgrade your weapons. This may seem like a no-brainer, but you'd be surprised as to how many players fail to account for their ammo. Playing Call of Duty is all about being aware, and when it comes to your ammo, there's no forgiveness. Upgrading your weapons may also benefit your ammo by having a larger mag, which just means you can get more kills before having to reload. Also, check to see what new barrels, muzzles, and other attachments you have unlocked, because the more you use a weapon, the stronger it can become. But for ammo, this should be a habit to keep your eyes on how much ammo you have left and not push an area of players when you start to run out. There have been more than a few times where I thought I would be able to take out a couple of players, but fall due to the lack of ammo. Number 5, learn the maps and spawns. This ties in heavily to tip number 3, where we discuss pre-aiming, but when it comes to learning the maps, there isn't really a better way than just playing them more. It all becomes about memorization and muscle memory. However, don't just play the maps to play them, be sure to analyze them. Go into each match wanting to improve that much more. Try getting one more kill than the previous match. This won't always happen, but the goal is to stay aware and learn. If you analyze each map you play, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll see that based on you and your team's positioning, many times you can predict where the enemy team will be spawning, and if you know the map, you'll know which routes they can take to get to you and how you can get to them the fastest. After you know the maps, it's time to start adjusting your play style. This is where tip number 3 comes into play. Since you become more aware of spawns, timings, and how the map functions from a core level, you can then start to predict your opponents and thus pre-aim to ensure the kill. If you were only to take 2 things away from this video, I highly recommend learning the maps and spawns and the power of pre-aiming. Tip number 6 is practice. This comes in many different forms and could be generalized as just playing the game. However, when it comes to practice, this is something you should put a lot of focus into. One of the ways you can do this is the practice range. This is perfect if you're looking to take some time and focus on your aim. To locate the practice range, go into multiplayer, training, and practice range. Here, they have many different targets you can focus on that vary from close range to long range, as well as moving targets. They even have one that shows you your bullet spray so you can tell where your bullets are hitting. This is also a good way to make sure you're watching your ammo and make it a habit. A step up from the practice range is bot lobbies. To find the bot lobbies, go into multiplayer, training, and practice versus AI. Playing against bots is a great way to get the feel for the game and build up your confidence if you're not yet ready for multiplayer matches. The lobbies are also a great way to start learning the maps. It's not as tense as multiplayer matches and gives you more freedom to learn. After you feel comfortable in bot lobbies, try multiplayer, and if you're really wanting to take a step forward, load into a ranked match. Ranked is a perfect way to improve. Ideally, you'll be playing against better players, or at least players in your skill base so you can grow. Once you start to get better, hopefully you'll be moved into a more difficult skill base so you can continue advancing your skills. The last tip is tip number 7, watch pros. You don't have to watch pros exactly, but watching good players in general is always a plus. If you're really looking to improve and get more kills in Call of Duty Mobile, you'll be trying to take in as much information as you can. Watching players play that are better than you can help instill quality aspects of their gameplay into your playstyle. Some of these players have been playing for so long and know the game like the back of their hand, and watching and learning from them can make your gameplay improve exponentially. Overall, be conscious of how you're playing and the things you can do to improve. This could be different for every player, but slowing down, learning, analyzing, and practicing should help you get to the next level. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something, and if you like discussing all things COD, be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on our new Call of Duty videos. Comment down below if you have any suggestions on Call of Duty topics you'd like us to break down. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.